And welcome back to Let's Play Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Last time we made it through the first 35 floors of the Pit of 100 Trials, and this time we continue our lovely walking park. So, you'll notice that the enemies are starting to get a lot tougher very fast. I mean, we're already on chapter 4 enemies. I think Parabuzzies are actually chapter 5. In that room in the grotto with a crud ton of Buzzy Beetles everywhere. Yeah, just regular Buzzy Beetles are creepy sequel. So yeah, you'll notice that this is heating up very quickly. By floor 40, we should be seeing chapter 5 and 6 type enemies. And then we start to get into some very, very dangerous enemies from floor 50 onwards, I want to say. I might actually rearrange badges because that's how intimidating some of the enemies can actually be here. So yeah, we might actually have to do that. I'm actually going to take out this guy first because I feel a little bit more confident counting a Buzzy Beetle, a Parabeetle to counting a Cleft. And apparently that confidence was misplaced, but in any case, we can actually take him out this turn easily. Whoops. There we go. I like how this game uses a lot of different imagery from different Mario games, including Super Mario Sunshine. It's just kind of interesting to me, because Sunshine kind of vanished, to be honest. It's one of those games that just sort of vanished off the face of the planet at a certain point. Again, Sunshine is one of my favorite games of all time, though I fully admit that's nostalgia, and that the game has not aged well at all. That point aside, it's still one of my favorite games of all time. So it's actually weird that it's largely forgotten. It took until Galaxy 2 to actually have pianos. No pianos in Galaxy 1. Now that I think about it, I don't think Nokis were actually in either Galaxy. And thus there's always the long-running debate of which Galaxy is actually better, and I'd actually say both are tied for me in different ways. I like one's story better, the fact that they give Rosalina a ton of background, surprisingly so for a Mario character. But at the same time, it's a little bit what am I trying to say here? It's a little bit weird because Galaxy 1 feels off to me. When I played through the game at first, I was actually kind of thrown off because it felt the controls felt a little bit stiff, and the camera was really not cooperative. So I would say 2 has the better gameplay, 1 has the better world building. So it's a little bit hard for me to actually say which Galaxy is actually better. Also, I do still find it weird that Galaxy 2 is essentially a soft reboot of Galaxy 1, because it's sort of a retelling. Then again, Mario really doesn't have canon per se, so it doesn't really matter. That being said, it is just, to me, it's still a little bit weird that Galaxy 2 is obviously a retelling of Galaxy 1, except with less story. So, oddly enough, Dark Koopas are easier than Shady Koopas. Dark Koopas you can actually flip over and they can't attack, so don't worry about the Dark Paratroopas or Dark Koopas, I mean, doing the same tricks as their Shady brethren. What else? Yeah, Galaxy 2's fun. Definitely the better stage design. Grandmaster is a complete pain in the butt, but I think that's actually one of the most satisfying stages in the Mario game, actually. Satisfying in the way that it's a pain in the butt, as I said, but once you complete it, it feels so good. It feels so good to finally complete Grandmaster. And to be honest, I don't even get that same rush from, I don't really get that same rush from, Champion's Road, for example. Or 3D Lands. 3D Lands final stage kind of sucks, to be honest. I don't even remember it at all. Grandmaster's very memorable, mostly because you have to do the stage upwards of at least a couple dozen times. I'm sure someone was a complete badass and completed it on their first try. I'm not that good at games. Plus, I was going through all sorts of medical issues at the time, so yeah, that's my excuse. It took me about... Oh wait, there actually was one time when I actually did level grinding for lives. It's not level grinding, but I don't know what else to call it. I basically farmed lives, that's the word. And I got it to like 99, and I think I lost them all. So, and I've heard this is actually pretty common. So yeah, Grandmaster doesn't mess around. To be fair, even Mario speedrunners die on that level occasionally. Just because of like the ending with the whatchamacallits, the Hammer Bro, the Boomerang Bros. I think that's kind of randomly generated their patterns. So yeah, even speedrunners don't have the easiest time with it. I'm like hiccuping between words, so that's fun. I don't know why I'm talking about the 3D games like this. Also, I wish there could have been something like this in Sunshine, because there really wasn't a reward for getting all the Shine Sprites in that game. So yeah, it's a little bit weird to me that, yeah, there's nothing comparable to that. I would say Sunshine deserves a remake over this game, because this game, actually, you could easily just put on the Wii U, or NX eShop, and it'll be totally fine. And hopefully, by the time this video goes up, because this is going up in October, hopefully the NX will actually be announced by this point. That'd be lovely. As of now, July 25th, we still know nothing about the NX other than Sonic, Just Dance, and Zelda being released on it. And that Warner Bros. Is making games for it, which basically means they're going to release LEGO games on it. I don't for a moment expect Warner Bros. To release like Arkham or Injustice or any of that on NX. I think all we're getting on NX from Warner are LEGO games or really bad tie-ins. Maybe that's being overly negative, but I just don't see them actually doing that. I just cannot see them actually putting effort into the NX because of how badly the Wii U games did. Though, to be fair, Arkham Origins, that's my example, because I hear Arkham Origins for Batman was like really terrible on everything, but like was extremely unoptimized for Wii U. And frankly, apparently, Arkham City wasn't even good on Wii U. Apparently, it had a lot of like texture pop-in and like weird glitches. So yeah, again, if you don't put effort into it, of course no one's gonna buy it, but it's easier to blame the console than to blame your own laziness when making a game, basically. Same with EA, it's like they would half-bake ports of old games on Wii U, and then they wouldn't sell because everyone owned Mass Effect on PS3 and Xbox. Everyone owned Need for Speed already on literally everything else. So by the time it was on Wii U, it was like, why do I need to buy a third version of this? The second version. So the Wii U version didn't sell, and EA's like, nope, we're out. We're done. So it's like, it's kind of a weird cycle, because it's like, technically, if you don't put effort into it, no one's gonna buy it, but again, it's just easier to blame the fact that console sales are low on the whole thing, rather than, oh hey, look, we released a game on all three consoles at the same time, let's see which one actually sells the best. Just a little bit of an aside. I hear the NX is actually really good so far. From developers, they say it's really promising. I don't really know how to feel about that. I don't think it's gonna get third-party support though, because what Nintendo console has gotten third-party support. But maybe that's just being overly critical at this point. To be fair, I always buy another console just for first parties and just for third parties. Like in the second gen, not second, sixth gen, I had a PS2 to basically play stuff that wasn't on GameCube. Like Final Fantasy X, Persona, etc. And basically I had a GameCube for all the Nintendo stuff I want to play. This is how I approach console generations, basically. I just go in with that mindset. Just, okay, I'm gonna buy the system just for Mario, Zelda, probably Pikmin, and that's it. That's it, basically. And then I buy another console just for other stuff I'm interested. Like, I like Assassin's Creed. I know that's not a popular opinion, but I actually like the Assassin's Creed franchise. It's not amazing, I would say. It's just good. I'd say like 2, Brotherhood, Black Flag, and Syndicate are actually all pretty solid, but not particularly noteworthy. But again, you don't play those on Wii U because they're terrible on Wii U. Black Flag, I've played on Wii U and Xbox, and I should actually specify in this case 360, and the 360 version of Black Flag ran better than the Wii U version. Yeah, at that time, that would have been 8-year-old hardware, and it actually ran better than the Wii U. And again, I don't really blame that so much on the Wii U, just the porting process, because that happens a lot this gen with the Xbox, where the Xbox versions of games do not run because they were optimized for PC or PS4, like Fallout was like really terrible on Xbox. Fallout 4, I should specify. But then the shoe was on the other foot last gen because it was the other way around, where stuff was made on 360 and then put on PS4. So yeah, the shoe was on the other foot. And also I should shut up for a moment because we have actually gone past where I have gone so far. We are on floor 51, meaning these are actually new enemies. The badge bandits. He steals badges. That's really, really bad. That's a bummer. The best thing you can actually do is just finish him off as quickly as possible. And also discard. Don't super guard. Don't risk super guarding on these guys because you want to hang on to your badges. Yeah, so it's better to not go for the super guard just for the sake of the potential of them actually just stealing a badge. Too much of a risk, if you ask me. And also to speed up this fight because we don't want... Actually, no, never mind. We don't need to actually multi-bonk because no matter what, he's dying next turn. Even if he does get a badge, it doesn't matter because we'll finish him off and we'll get our badge back. And my voice is really starting to give out, actually, after doing this for an hour now. Actually, it's only been like... Yeah, it's been about an hour. But luckily, we're on floor 52 now, so we're basically halfway there. Ice Puff. Nothing to really say about these guys. But yeah, I might actually start getting really quiet towards the end of this, just because my voice is giving out, basically. Maybe not, we'll see. Wow, even with Power Plus, we can't actually get past his defense. That's interesting. We can still counter them though, and I think that's enough damage to take him out with a normal hammer. Not quite. So, guard. Yeah, this was not optimal. Not that it matters, but just saying. Also, where did all the rocks go? Because they all had rocks in the audience and then they just kind of disappeared. Not sure what happened there. Not complaining either, because getting hit by a dozen rocks is not fun. So, yeah, things are definitely getting a lot more challenging at this point. I didn't even go over the enemies that are visible on the other floors like I did previously. Floor 41 through 49 are Dark Paratroopers, Bulky Bombs, Lava Bubbles, Poison Pokies, and Spiky Parabuzzy Spike Tops. That's what it says. I think that was a typo. Basically, it's all enemies we fought in chapters 4 and 5, and 6. 4, 5 through 6. 4 through 6 is what I meant to say, not 4, 5 through 6. And he is invisible, so we can't actually hurt him. Luckily, he didn't actually even attack in the meantime, so we can actually get an easy win nonetheless. But anyway, as I was saying, again, we're seeing that like the same thing that the Wii U experienced with the Xbox One, where basically it's like because Xbox One ports don't sell as well as PS4 versions, they're just really not putting effort into it. And it's actually a shame because if you ask me, the Xbox One is a pretty good console. I didn't know his chain was that long. That was unfortunate. Ultra Hammers work really well in these guys, by the way, because they actually do 3 damage on all the other opponents, regardless, actually, of how much defense they have. It is always 3. Slightly disappointing because that means the Ultra Hammer won't help you, but it's definitely better than just having defense ignored. And that's the thing that happens a lot in RPGs. I got the way. Watt comes to mind. With Watt, for example, you always have to kind of calculate, like, would Watt do more damage with her armor piercing or defense piercing than another partner just with a blocked attack? For example, like with Watt, ignoring defense doing a sort of consistent 5 damage, is that better than Watt doing like... Oh, what am I trying to say? Watt basically can do 5 damage no matter how much defense they have, but could Bob-omb potentially do more damage? Because she does more in the first place, and thus, even with the defense, would she actually do more damage? So you have to weigh all this stuff in this game. So there's that little element of strategy to this. I really should actually equip Quake Hammer as we're getting into more spiky enemies and more ground-based enemies, to be honest. We've actually seen literally every enemy that's exclusive to these floors. Badge Bandit, Ice Puff, Dark Boo, Red Chomp, Moon Cleft. But again, it is a little bit worrisome that we're actually seeing Chapter 7 enemies here, meaning things are heating up rather quickly in the Pivot Trials. So, in my free time, because I'm running out of things to talk about, one game I've actually been playing a lot is Overwatch. And wow, the patch, that's quite considerable. I'm afraid that by the time this video goes up, that like D.Va, for example, will already be nerfed again. Because I think they have actually pushed her abilities so far that people are gonna get mad about it very easily. And to be honest, D.Va was never a good character, and I still don't think she's the best tank. I think Reinhardt is actually a better tank than D.Va, even with all the buffs. That being said, I have a feeling the very vocal Overwatch community will not be okay with the patch changes, and this Blizzard will have to nerf D.Va again. And I'm surprised Symmetra got nerfed, because no one played her anyway. She's a really good character, it's just no one wants to play support characters, it seems. The only support characters people are playing right now is Ana, because she's new and she's a sniper, and all that. Like, the newness hasn't worn off, basically. I actually don't know what to do here, because, well, if I jump on... Actually, this will kill him. No, that actually won't. I should have switched out to Vivian, and I would have done it. And that actually did a lot less than I thought. I thought it would do 10 damage, or something ridiculous. It only did 5, so I'll take it, but still, I was expecting a lot more from that attack. In any case, we are at a good stopping point. I don't even know what floor we're on at this point. I think we're on probably 56? 57. Okay, we're one ahead of where I thought we were. So we made it through... yeah, our progress is slowing down considerably now. In any case, thank you for watching, and I hope you join me next time for more Paper Mario: The 1000-Year Door.